Lots of things go wrong in metabolic syndrome. Blood vessels get thicker and then block up with cholesterol. The liver jams up with fat, and this causes metabolic mayhem. Beta cells in the pancreas accumulate junk, become overwhelmed, and stop producing enough insulin. And fat cells become constricted. They fail to expand to accommodate all the fat being sent their way. The wailing and gnashing of teeth contributes to inflammation. Notice a pattern. Each and every organ is piling up something. Now, the biological term for this is hypertrophy, or too much tissue. The something is not in and of itself bad, but the gathering is problematic. It eventually leads to impeded function, and the impeded function ultimately creates bad body chemistry, the kind that leads to poor health outcomes. But this shouldn't happen. Join us for this episode of Better Body Chemistry TV as we explore how deploying your body's dustbin will clean up your health. Better Body Chemistry TV is brought to you by Dr. Sandy, a scientist turned gremlin buster, helping you battle sugar gremlins, heifer lumps, and other health horribles through better body chemistry. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health. Now, the body has a professional waste disposal department. In fact, each and every cell has sanitation workers tasked with cleaning up the junk. Different methods are employed depending on the type of waste being encountered. And in a busy cell, there's lots of waste. Now, some things need to be removed chop or else. But other things, the removal is not that urgent. Yes, it does need to be done. Living in a sea of worn out cell parts is messy, and in the long run compromises efficiency. But the task can wait until the cell is less busy. Meet the Dustbin men. They are a team of proteins responsible for autophagy, or self-eating. When an item is beyond repair, they step in and make the arrangements to remove the worn out bits and pieces. They do this by directing the offending item towards the cell's garbage disposal units, the lysosomes, which are vats of acid and enzymes that digest everything. Damaged proteins, invading pathogens, and worn out organelles. When they're done, all that is left is a pile of basic building blocks. The amino acids, sugars, and fatty acids are then recycled. They're shipped back into the cytoplasm of the cell where they can be used to build new things. It's a perfect system, except when it doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen when insulin is around. And insulin is around all the time. when you're seriously insulin resistant. This is what a team of researchers based in North Carolina discovered. The team made mice insulin resistant by overfeeding them for 8 weeks. Now, the little guys at this stage were not diabetic. Their fasting blood glucose levels were normal, but they had way too much insulin floating around in their system. They were ticking time bombs for health problems. The insulin was high morning, noon, and night, just like in people with metabolic syndrome. At this point in time, they bumped the mice off. Of course, they did it humanely. They then removed the livers and looked at just how much autophagy, that is cleaning up, had been happening. They did this in 2 ways. They looked to see just how much garbage had accumulated by looking for specific items, such as the P62 protein. Now, this is a long-lived protein, typically removed by the Dustbin men. They also looked to see how many Dustbin men were being created by tracking gene expression. Significantly less autophagy was happening in the insulin-resistant mice. Here you can see there was tons of P62 present, which is not normal. They did a few extra things to establish the reason the Dustbin men weren't working was because of insulin. Now, breaking down old parts is hard work. It can be done, but you need to be motivated. And the motivation for autophagy is when there is a shortage of building blocks. This only happens when supplies are limited. Since insulin's big job is to put away the groceries after dinner, insulin's presence signals there are plenty of supplies available, on paper at least. So cleaning up barely happens. The Dustbin men sit tight when insulin is out and about. Now, they're not on strike. They're just not needed to supplement supplies. But they are needed. Wastes pile up, and this has health consequences: heart disease, NASH, and type 2 diabetes. The Dustbin men need to be deployed on a regular basis. Rein in insulin and get your Dustbin men back on the job. Need a little help getting insulin under control? Download our free willpower report at betterbodychemistry.com. You can find the link in the description. It will help you get started creating better body chemistry. Interested in discovering more ways to create better body chemistry or need a little help getting your body chemistry on track? Visit our website for more tips and strategies that will help you optimize your health. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. The advice is simple to follow and based on real science, not hype. Know someone who is suffering from metabolic issues. Share this video with them so they understand better metabolic health requires a good cleanup crew. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health.